They raised her, they gave her a name, they called her family, but the day she needed them most, they handed her a suitcase and told her to leave. What they didn't know was that the man who loved her was already on his way. And his arrival would change everything forever. Ariana stood in the center of the glass hall, her fingers wrapped tightly around the handles of 2 small suitcases. Her chest felt heavy, like every breath had to push through a wall of pain. The building echoed with silence, too quiet for a place that once felt like home. Behind her stood the people who raised her. They didn't move closer, they didn't reach out, they didn't say her name. Her adopted mother, Eleanor, stood straight in a white suit, her expression distant. Next to her, Marcus, the man Ariana once called Dad, kept his hands folded behind his back, eyes avoiding hers. 2 other relatives stood nearby, watching as if this was a business decision, not a human goodbye. "This is for the best," Eleanor finally said, her voice controlled and emotionless. Ariana swallowed hard. "For who?" she whispered. No one answered. She remembered being 6 years old, holding Eleanor's hand for the first time. She remembered school awards, birthdays, holidays, moments she believed were proof of love. But love, she realized, shouldn't feel like exile. "You're an adult now," Marcus said quietly. "You'll figure it out." That was it. No hug, no apology, no explanation that made sense. Ariana nodded, because if she spoke, she would break. She turned and walked toward the exit, dragging her suitcases behind her. Every step echoed like a goodbye she never got to say. Love that asked for nothing. 3 years earlier, Ariana had met Daniel by accident. She was working late at a community art space, cleaning paintbrushes and rearranging chairs when he walked in, looking completely lost. "I think I'm in the wrong place," he said, smiling awkwardly. She laughed. "You definitely are." That laugh was the beginning of everything. Daniel never asked about her background at first. He never cared about last names or family history. He cared about her dreams, how she wanted to design spaces that felt warm, how she believed beauty could heal people. He listened. When she told him she was adopted, he didn't ask painful questions. He just said, "That must have taken strength." When she talked about feeling like she never fully belonged, he said, "Then let me be a place where you do." They fell in love slowly, gently, without promises that sounded too big to keep. But there was one thing Daniel never fully explained. His life, his family, his work. "I'll tell you everything," he once said, holding her hands, "when the time is right." She trusted him. The breaking point. The truth came out on a Tuesday. Ariana had overheard a conversation, voices sharp and hushed behind a closed door. Her name, her adoption, papers, words like reputation and image. That night, Eleanor sat her down and told her the story she thought she already knew, only this time, it came with conditions. "We gave you opportunities," Eleanor said, "but certain things no longer align." Ariana realized then that love, to them, had limits. By the end of the week, her room was no longer hers. And now, here she was, walking away with everything she owned packed into 2 suitcases. She stepped outside into the sunlight, blinking back tears. That's when her phone buzzed. "Daniel, where are you? I've been trying to reach you." Her hands trembled as she typed. "Ariana, I'm leaving, I don't know where I'm going." The response came instantly. "Daniel, stay where you are," an arrival no one expected. The sound came first, a low hum in the sky. Then a shadow passed over the glass building. People stopped walking, heads turned upward. A sleek private jet descended toward the nearby landing pad, something Ariana had never even noticed before. Her heart raced, confused. Behind her, the adopted family members stepped forward, murmuring to each other. "What's happening?" someone asked. The jet doors opened, and then she saw him. Daniel walked down the steps calmly, dressed simply, his eyes scanning the crowd until they locked onto hers. Relief flooded his face. He crossed the distance between them quickly, ignoring everyone else. When he reached her, he gently took the suitcase handles from her hands and set them down. "You're not going anywhere alone," he said softly. Tears finally spilled down her cheeks. "You said you'd tell me everything when the time was right," she whispered. He nodded. "This is the time." The truth revealed. Daniel turned to the others. "My name is Daniel Hayes," he said clearly. "And I love her." Murmurs spread through the hall. One of the men whispered, "Hayes, as in?" Daniel didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. "My family values respect, loyalty, and character," he continued. "And Ariana has more of those than anyone I've ever met." A distinguished older man stepped forward from the jet entourage, someone important, someone whose presence commanded silence. "We're here," the man said, "because no one who carries this kind of integrity should be cast aside." The room felt smaller, heavier. Eleanor's confident posture faltered. Ariana looked at Daniel, stunned. "You didn't have to do this," she said. "I know," he replied. "I wanted to." Love over pride. The truth settled in slowly. This wasn't about wealth or power. It was about choice. Daniel chose her, without conditions, without hesitation. When they walked away together, Ariana didn't look back. For the first time, she wasn't walking away in shame. She was walking toward a future, building a new home. Life changed, but not in the way people expected. Ariana didn't disappear into luxury. She continued her work, designing spaces that welcomed people who felt unseen. Daniel stood beside her, not in front, not behind. They built a home filled with laughter, honesty, and peace. No locked doors, no silent dinners, no love that came with rules. The quiet victory. Months later, Ariana received a letter. No apology, just words. She folded it carefully and placed it in a drawer, not as forgiveness but as closure. Some people teach you how to love, others teach you how strong you are without it. She chose peace. If this story touched your heart, if you believe love should never come with conditions, and if you believe quiet strength is the greatest victory, then this channel is for you. Subscribe to Black Inside 2.0 for more emotional, romantic, and inspiring stories that remind us all of our worth. Because sometimes, losing the wrong people leads you straight to the right future.